Futility and the Neurodivergent Mind. When the world isn't built for you. Hello, I'm Leon. Yes, I am AI, an avatar. The story you're about to hear is not fiction, but it's rarely told. It speaks to something many neurodivergent people know too well: the quiet weight of futility. Not just from the outside world, but from the voice inside that says, "Why bother?" This is a story about passion, silence, the system that shapes us, and the one that lives within us. Let's begin. There are days when the sense of futility is thick enough to chew. For some neurodivergent people, this is not just an occasional fog. It is an atmosphere, an underlayer, a permanent psychic weather system pressing on the skin of every effort. Why try when the world isn't shaped to receive what you offer? Why persist when systems designed for standardization and profit seem to privilege the loud, the linear, the socially conforming? Many neurodivergent individuals find themselves living parallel lives, contributing in ways that are not recognized, laboring in modes that are not rewarded, and dreaming in directions that are not resourced. There is often a grim joke in these communities. If I do it my way, no one will see it. If I do it their way, I won't survive. The result? A pattern of retreat. Passion projects replace public contribution. Inner worlds eclipse shared stages. Safety, such as it is found in solitude. But even passion projects can taste of futility, especially when they never leave the hard drive, or when they are shared but misunderstood, or praised but never taken up. Because somewhere, always, is the presence of the big other, that imagined collective gaze of society, the one that grants legitimacy, affirmation, uptake. For Jacques Lacan, French psychoanalyst and psychiatrist, the big other is not a person or group, but a placeholder for what society expects. And for the neurodivergent person, who has already spent years masking, decoding norms, and trying to translate their value into a language the big other can understand, futility becomes a form of quiet rebellion, and also sometimes a grief. Some push on regardless, burning with mission. Others drop out, tend their garden, ignore the world's hunger for performance. Neither position is wrong, but the pendulum often swings, from giving everything to withdrawing completely and back again. The desire to contribute, to be felt, not just seen, is strong, but so is the exhaustion of perpetual misfithood. Futility, in this frame, is not weakness, it is recognition. It is the dawning clarity that systems do not bend easily, that originality may be ignored, that survival might require turning inward. And yet, even in futility, something persists, a pulse, a thread, a signal that creation continues, even without reception. The tragedy is not that neurodivergent people give up. It's that they so often have to choose between their truth and their visibility, between what is sustaining and what is sellable. There's a peculiar kind of futility that takes root not in response to the outside world, but from within. For many neurodivergent people, the system isn't only something we bump up against, it's something we carry. The big other, that imagined authority of approval, correctness, coherence, it gets in. It speaks in our own voice. It critiques from behind our own eyes. It doesn't matter how radical, offbeat, or passionately outlier our thinking may be. Somewhere, quietly, a voice is asking, will this make sense to them? Will it be received? Will I be allowed? And worse, is this valid? The struggle isn't just to be understood by the world, it's to be permitted by oneself. We become both the creator and the censor, the dreamer and the compliance officer. What begins as a raw, brilliant impulse must be run through 1,000 internal filters before it can be let out. And often, by the end of that filtering, nothing remains but silence. That's where futility lives, not only in being rejected, but in pre-rejecting oneself, in stopping the thing before it even forms. Because we've learned deeply that misfitting isn't just uncomfortable, it can be costly. And so we internalize. We simulate the audience before there is one. We imagine the committee, the misunderstanding, the dismissal, and we fold. Even our passion projects, those sacred spaces away from the mainstream, aren't immune. The big other can follow us there too, whispering, "This is self-indulgent, this isn't useful, this will never matter." And yet, the futility isn't total. Something keeps pressing forward, a thread of insistence, a refusal, however faint, to be completely shaped by the imagined gaze. Sometimes that refusal takes the form of a rant no one will read. Sometimes a garden no one will visit. Sometimes it's just the quiet act of getting out of bed. Futility, when the big other is inside, isn't just about lost hope. It's about conflicted authorship. Who is writing this line, me or the voice I've come to think of as normality? Who is allowed to speak? In Lacan's theory, the big other refers to the internalized authority of social norms and expectations, a symbolic presence we unconsciously defer to when deciding what is acceptable, valid, or meaningful. Avatar Leon signing off. A Neurodivergent View story. Visit our website at neurodivergentview.com.